What is going on, guys? It's your boy, actually, Amoongus, here again for the playoffs, folks. Playoffs. We're talking about playoffs. The regular season is over, and we're finally talking about some playoffs. And in the first round, well, the second round of the PWD playoffs, my first PWD playoff match is against a very good friend of mine, and of course, therefore, also the channel, Shiny Shuriken, aka Mac, the commissioner of the league, a great friend, and I don't know what else I could possibly say besides somebody that I've really been looking forward to battling the entire season. We didn't play in the regular season. It was the only playoff team I didn't play in the regular season, as a matter of fact. And it's been a heck of a climb and a highly anticipated battle. Mac actually did an amazing job in his last battle. He was able to pick up a 4-0 win against Southside Braves and the Nashville Needle Kings, eliminating them in the first round. So I knew I had my work cut out for me. I did a lot of prep, of course, during my bye week, as well as during the week of. Of course, we're playing this match on Sunday, which is like basically the deadline of when we're supposed to have it done. Not that it really matters, because there's only 3 teams remaining at this point. And well, in prep, I will say, fairly similar route to what I thought Mac might do. I wasn't sure if he would bring Skuntank or Pukamuku as kind of like a defensive role player. Skuntank had access to Defog as well as the ability Stench, which I did see him bring with the King's Rock at one point earlier in the season. Something I considered. And something that I had brought some answers for. He ended up going with the Pukamuku instead, which is fine. As far as breaking down lead matchup is concerned, I kind of narrowed my lead down. I tried a few different things against different team combinations in prep. So I knew that his scariest lead was the lead that he did actually go for, which is Surfetched. It was not only a threatening play, but a kind of a trend from Coach Shiny Shuriken to first turn Dynamax, or early game Dynamax even, his Surfetch. So we wanted to make a lead something that would threaten, scare, or like, even in the worst case scenario, if Mac really did get courageous and just full send it, go for first turn Dynamax, I would be able to get a lot of damage on it, and probably enough so where, you know, luck considering, hopefully it wouldn't sweep my team. He actually makes the wise switch, goes to his defensive wall. That's fine. I just get small chip damage off on it. I have a feeling that I could guess one of the only sets that would be good against me, which I could have brought my Xatu to kind of shut it down, but I felt that there are other things that I should be more worried about. And, you know, I can just easily deal with this. I go to my Tangrowth. I attempt to set up my Leech Seed, and I know that he could do this, what he's about to do. It's definitely a thought that I had considered in prep, to bring the Sap Sipper Drampa. However, I was very much okay with letting this Leech Seed get absorbed and the Sap Sipper get shown because I have Assault Vest Hitmonchan for the Drampa, as well as now I know that his ability is not Berserk, which I thought that a defensive or bulky special attack build with Berserk was probably one of the most threatening plays Mac could have made against me. Of course, it would still have to figure out what it was going to do about this thing, but it has access to Hurricane, could maybe even max Airstream and that kind of thing. So we make a play here knowing that this is super effective, but also looking at the type matchup that he probably will not stay in. So we make a play on the switch here and predict this as a more balanced play than going for the Drain Punch, which of course would have healed me back from the Ice Beam that I took, but that's alright. We definitely wanted to get as much damage as possible on the Rillaboom. It is one of the best defensive options that he has, as well as threatening typing against things like my Blastoise and coverage for my Salazzle, my Aegislash, my Mawile, and really can do a lot to my team. Even has acrobatics for Tangrowth and Hitmonchan, so could potentially threaten the entire team. So we really wanted to get that read in that bigger chip damage on the Rillaboom as opposed to having some more health, because at this point we're going to switch out into Tangrowth. Our goal here naturally is to try to get some more chip damage by means of Rocky Helmet. We do that, but we switch into the knockoff, therefore removing the Rocky Helmet obviously, and this definitely comes into play in a big way later in the game. Here we go for a Sludge Bomb, and this is one of the key matchups that I wanted to try to make happen as many times as possible during the match, because against the Rillaboom, I could get a pretty clean 2-hit KO. Even with that amount of chip, I might have been able to get a KO, and I could get rid of that really threatening Pokemon. As I already explained, it has the potential to threaten everything that I did bring. He switches out to Drampa. Not a surprise, kind of a prediction, and another reason why I didn't try to read with a Toxic or something like that, or even a Leech Seed again, because we know now that it's Sap Sipper. No point in firing off grass moves until we've done something about this. We get a little bit of luck going our way as well, and get the 30% chance of poison, which honestly, because Drampa has a great typing against my team, it's really good to get this additional chip damage wherever I can. And as you'll see here, you know, we go through a consistent phase of trying to get the read on each other and switching, trying to gain initiative and get ahead of each other in play. I kind of feel like I was forced to switch with the Drampa. I know it has access to Flamethrower. I know it has access to Hurricane, other things that can deal with my Tangrowth extremely easy, as well as my Tangrowth being a defensive build that just, you know, was not where I wanted to be. Figuring that I was forced to switch, I went to Salazzle. He made the switch as well, but knowing that the matchup wasn't in his favor with Ninetales versus Salazzle, I just fired off the Sludge Wave, seeing it as the safer option against whatever he would go into. He ended up going into Pyukumuku a second time. which worked out in my favor because even after leftovers recovery and such, we're able to pick up the 2-hit kill here, which is not only a big wall and a big liability for Blastoise out of the way, but the first kill in a really tight battle of attrition like this, just the having to fear one less wall, one less water resist, one less steel resist, one less fire resist, is really huge moving forward. But I kind of knew which way he would go. There's only one Pokemon on his team that can revenge kill and outspeed Salazzle, and of course that is Inteleon. He goes to his Inteleon, and we make the hard switch into our Max Spadef Mawile. Unfortunately, Inteleon does what it's done all season, and one of the things, among good play of course, but one of the things that's definitely gotten Mac out of some tight spots in certain battles is his ability to use his Surfetched and Inteleon to get key crits. It's really, it's RNG, but it's really kind of a different monster when it's designed that way. So here we go to the Assault Vest Hitmonchan, and this is one of the most nerve-wracking turns of the entire game as well, because we just seen the crit totally wipe out a max special defense, fully invested. It's not full HP, but it's got quite a bit of HP as well. I spared a little bit to get some just slightly better defense rolls and damage prep. But we just seen the crit just totally wipe out my Mawile, which was made to eat. If it was not a critical hit snipe shot, it would have ate that all day. So we're sitting here with our fingers crossed that the crit doesn't happen again, and ends up going for the G-Max here. Goes for the G-Max Hydro Snipe. And even though I can't win against Inteleon 1v1 if he uses his G-Max, we do live. I was pretty sure we would live even with the chip, because I had a fair cushion, as long as he didn't crit, of what I could live from a snipe shot. So we end up living at 2 HP, which is extremely clutch. And, we fire off the bullet punch on the second turn, but obviously more important than that is that we burn off a lot of his Dynamax, and that's great. You could maybe look at this match and kind of question what I do next, because I have this Aegislash set that I brought specifically to set up on certain threats on his team, especially the specially defensive ones. And also has Solar Blade to Power Herb and Solar Blade to specifically deal with Inteleon. So we go to it here, and we also have the tech autotomized to exactly outspeed max speed timid Inteleon at +2, but instead we go for the damage and go for the kill, and instead we end up going for the max airstream. I could have conserved my Dynamax a little bit longer, which later on in the game, maybe I could have used for my G-Max Blastoise, or honestly anything, Salazzle's still alive at this point in the game. It's very good at taking advantage of Dynamax because of his speed tier. But, you know, it's only a marginal misplay. It's still an effective route. Like, it's not a losing play. It's just maybe not the optimal play. And we end up picking up the kill on Inteleon this turn instead of going for the Autotomize, letting him come down from D-Max and just picking it up with the Solar Blade. So, you know, you take that for what it is. That's the play that I went with, and my thinking was that it does outspeed all of its threats, which is absolutely true. Outspeeds Rillaboom, even if Choice Scarfed at this point, outspeeds Surfetched. Outspeeds Rillaboom unless it's Choice Scarfed, but we know it's Grassy Seed. Outspeeds Surfetched even if Choice Scarfed. And outspeeds Drampa, but it doesn't outspeed the Alolan Ninetales. However, my thinking is I'm Dynamax. I can get another speed boost or two from my max Airstreams. And in this situation, Alolan Ninetales might be the least likely Pokemon of the ones remaining that he would go to. However, he does make the play to go to the Alolan Ninetales, and not only does he put up the hail to get little bits of chip damage on me, but he's also going to go for the Aurora Veil. Now, I'm sure that he knows he's faster than me, even at +1 at this point too. Otherwise, what's the point in going to this thing? I could max Steel Spike and blow you away. But considering that we both have to know it, I just go for the max Airstream. That way I can be at +2 and just be that much more faster, and I felt that it was taking advantage of my Dynamax turns a little bit more, even if I wasn't getting 2 kills off of my Dynamax turn, or getting the 2 kills with getting an extra turn out of my Dynamax. Even if I was kind of blowing a turn, I was using the turn to give myself a boost that I wanted to use moving forward. So that's why I made that play. And then we go for the max Steel Spike. At +2, I'm faster than Inteleon. I'm EV'd exactly to outspeed Inteleon, so therefore that is the fastest thing that's going to come off of his team. 4 times super effective. I don't think anybody thinks that Ninetales is going to live just because of a little bit of boost from Veil. But what can live a attack with the Veil up and definitely blow me back in return, especially when I shrink down from my Dynamax state, is the Drampa. And you're going to see Coach Shiny Shuriken go to the Drampa here. As I said earlier in the matchup, when I was talking about like Tangrowth and that kind of thing, Drampa has access to Flamethrower. It's a good thing that it's not Berserk, so that I don't have to worry about, like, we know that I'm going to outspeed with Aegislash, but like triggering, like doing quote unquote too much damage, triggering that Berserk and making this more of a threat because of that. If we did trigger the Berserk ability, it would be fortunate that we got that poison earlier, because that would make the threat hopefully short-lived. We just go for an Iron Head here. As you can see, it was my only stab move. chance to flinch, but you know, we're kind of just going for damage here. I didn't think we could break this behind the veil. We have other answers for what's left of his team, and with him taking hail and poison damage, I will admit that when I made this next play, I did think that I was going to pick this up. But when I look at my 3 remaining Pokemon, I know that if I weigh out the pros and cons of sending out all 3, I really cannot afford to lose the other 2 at all. And I was at the advantage of having them both at max HP, which I knew that Rillaboom was weakened on max side. So we just go for the Sludge Wave here. Yes, we are expecting Choice Specs Sludge Wave to pick up the kill through the Aurora Veil. However, it just barely does not. And you're going to see both Pokemon go down here to the Surf and then to Hail and Poison. So what happens next is pretty crazy. Unfortunately, the connection drops. I don't know if servers, you know, it's probably the servers. There's 2 minutes left in the battle, and timer could have been a factor, which is a factor that, like, we just mutually decided not to we mutually agreed that we can't exactly help that. So I apologize, but I forgot to press record on my own whenever I was recording the videos, so excuse the screen swapping for just a second. But we also have the rest of the battle. However, the sides are going to get switched, and you're going to be seeing we're about 10 HP off on our recreate, but we simulate the veil turns and all those types of things and come in right where we left off here. So sorry, I must have been a slight bit too soon, but you're going to see us both go for the switch here into the Pokemon we need. You know, we just use these as like placeholders to burn veil turns to get the turns right. And then he was actually doing his side of the video live, so it was known already what move he was going to make. It was known already what move I was going to make, and we agreed we make the same play. And basically what I do from this point of the battle is I'm trying to wear out the veil turns first, of course. I know that Tangrowth can eat certain hits from Surfetched all day, but it has access to Brave Bird, which will do big damage, and has to be played around really smart in order to not kill me in return. Because I do have the Regenerator ability. I'm able to get off a tiny bit of chip, switch into my Blastoise, and then flip turn back again. So that's to wear out the turns. Blastoise is going to take huge damage here, and it's also to make it so Tangrowth, if needed, can survive another Brave Bird, and is, you know, as well equipped as possible to deal with the Rillaboom, which is the matchup, as I said early on in the battle, that I'm really looking to try to get as many times as possible. It's one of the only ways, honestly, besides Salazzle, that I can deal with Rillaboom effectively. I think that even my Air Slash would have been a 2-hit KO, and in a big danger of taking a ground or dark type attack in return. So very glad to have gotten that off. Got the flip turn. 2 of his lucky rolls on the crits as well. You know, I kind of really didn't think about that at the time, but Tangrowth, as well as being my most reliable wall, has consistently soaked up crits for me. We're able here to wear him down with the flip turn to just a tiny scrap of HP. So we make this play one more time, going into the Blastoise, sacrificing that, as well as taking down the Surfetched in the process. Then to finish it off, we kind of have what is, in my opinion, an unwinnable matchup for Coach Shiny Shuriken. And it actually is a little bit closer than I expected, because with the chip damage, I thought I might be able to pick up this kill. He ends up living with a hair of life left, and we have to hope and pray that we can survive 2 acrobatics. So we eat the first one up pretty well, but, you know, trying to discern the tiny amount of chip damage that was left on me, as well as the amount that I am over 50% with this grassy terrain recovery, is really hard. So, like, I know that there's only one thing that I can do. Like, the game ends on this turn. I just have to cross my fingers and hope for the best. But we end up surviving. Tangrowth does what it has done the entire season: soak up hits and outlast my opponent's teams. And your Atlanta Sobble are moving on to the finals of PWD Season 2. That's going to be the end of the battle. Obviously, you know, the placeholder Ninetales Pokemon is still alive, but that's not important. I want to give a huge shout out to Mac for being the commissioner of this league, as well as for being a great opponent, a great sport. Brought me on his channel, and we discussed the battle a little bit right after the fact. As I said, he was streaming the battle live. Make sure you check out Shiny Shuriken on YouTube if you're not familiar with them already. I know we're good friends, and a lot of you probably already are. But there would literally be no PWD without Shiny Shuriken. And big shout outs to him. Great game. Well played on both sides. So absolutely cheers to my opponent. I also have to say, though, as the music gets quieter, we face another good friend, Coach Bloud. You've seen him in videos on the channel. We've streamed together. In week 3, we had what is, in my opinion, the best PWD battle of all Season 2. And now we get the rematch in the finals. It's going to be epic. I hope you guys are waiting on this one, because I know I cannot wait to see who wins the championship. You know that I can't say anything but the Atlanta Sobbles are going to bring it home. But I do also have to say that Bloud is going to be a absolute true final boss. And even though I have to beat the game in the end and defeat the final boss, he is going to be one heck of a mountain to climb. And so therefore, be on the lookout for that, as well as some other draft content that's going to be coming your guys' way really soon. Until next time, it's your coach of the Atlanta Sobble, actually Amoongus, saying peace.